Of course you would. I would as well as... Jesus fucking Christ. Hello everyone. I am the developer of the game ONRYO no Yashiki on both itch.io and Newgrounds. If you don't know, I have been working on this game for about a year and a half, and I just released it yesterday as of recording this. Today is January 15th. This is probably not going out on the same day that I finish recording this, but it will be out in the general time. And if you follow the channel, then I'm sorry for not posting for almost like 2 months. I have been so busy with other stuff that I have just been unable to release any videos. Now that this game is off my chest and I've actually released it, I can get back into releasing videos, so that'll be good for people who like my videos. Alright, so I'm going to be playing the Newgrounds version of it. If you would like to decide which one you want to play, you can, and that's cool. The Newgrounds version is completely web-based, so if you don't want to install the game, then you don't have to. But if you would like to download the game for yourself so that you can play it offline or whatever, or if you would like to play it on other platforms, it should work on everything on the browser version, but if you would like the game on both Windows, if you like the game on Windows, Linux, or Mac, then all of those options are available. If you would like to play the game on mobile, it kind of works on Newgrounds. It is kind of choppy, but it works. It does in fact work. I've tested it. I've tested all of my games on mobile and it works. You can probably finish them. I've never actually gone out of my way to try and finish any of my games on mobile. It is just like the fact that you can, if you set it to like desktop mode, you can try to do it. Also, if you would like to download, there's a README file, which is only 3.2 kilobytes, and then there is the art collection, which has most of the art that I have done for the game archived. I don't have any like sketches in there or anything, because I don't have some of the sketches anymore, but this is like an archive of most of the finished art, as well as a lot of beta items and things like that. I will not show the art collection in this video because it is all full of spoilers for the game. So if you have finished the game, or if you would just like to see me finish the game and then you want to look at the art, then you can. So this is the very beginning of the game. It can be somewhat choppy when you play it on the Newgrounds version, but I think this is just an internet connection thing, and also the fact that I am recording this, so I've got things open, so I wouldn't say that it's a big issue. Who voiced this character? What the heck? Yeah, so a fun, interesting fact about Rika is that I was not supposed to be the person who voiced her. There are two other people who I talked to who were going to voice her, but things just kind of like... I'm not gonna say any personal details about the two people who were going to voice her, but they were not able to. So I was kind of forced to voice her myself, and I was like, oh man, now I have to voice her myself. And then I did it, and I was like, wait, that's actually really fun. I've had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing her character, even though it's kind of just my own voice. Uh, I don't know. I thought it was fun. This this piece of art, I think this was one of the first things that I drew for the game. It was like the probably like the second or third thing that I drew for the game after I drew Reika, like the first image of her. And it has gone through, it went through 0 changes other than the fact that I added her emblem to her blazer, because there was no emblem before. The original design did not have an emblem on her blazer, so I had to change that. This place is dark and it hasn't even gone through night yet. We're gonna order extra for this one. I do know you'll take us in. That piece of dialogue there is supposed to have her portrait, or it was supposed to have her portrait, but it was something that I noticed very late into development that it wasn't there, and I was just like, I don't really need it there. I don't know if that was a good choice or not. Once I update the game, I will have to update it soon because there are bugs that I have found already. I may have to go back and change a lot of the dialogue too. Um, it, I don't think it's a super huge issue because you can hear the dialogue. It's just a lot of it is not equalized properly, and that is completely on my issue. That's completely on my end. I don't have an excuse for like messing this up, but hold on, I need to change the volume. Sorry. I don't have an excuse for screwing a lot of the dialogue up. Like it is completely on me for letting that happen, letting that slide. If I were able to, I would change it so that the voice acting is recognized as its own thing, but I would have to change a lot, and it's something I know to do. But maybe I'll learn how to do stuff like that later. Oh, that's fucking hell, man. That wasn't intentional. This is not an intentional thing that you can. God damn it! I thought I fixed that. I am so sorry. But yeah, this is the kitchen. This is one of the first areas that I designed. I designed this before I finished designing the main area of the mansion, actually. This, I don't think I ever added anything to it later other than what you're about to see here. This, I thought this would be funny to introduce. And I thought it would be weird. And I knew that a lot of people would not find this. So I included it because I thought it would just be interesting to have something like this. You can decide if this is canon or not to the story, or if this makes sense. I just thought this would be an interesting dialogue interaction. I will not add anything to this. Oh, what the?
It's you. I remember you, friend.
I'm sorry. You've got the wrong person.
You, your real friend. Cannot remember. Sayaka, it's you.
Huh? How do you know my mom's name?
Your brother. Sayaka-chan had a daughter.
Yeah, how do you know her?
And the reason she moved far away. But fate seems to have brought your family back to me.
Get the hell away from me. I'll say nothing about this. Oh yeah, this is the saving mechanic. I did this first. This is one of the first things that I introduced for this game. This is the first, like, idea that I had, I guess. Before I really came up with a lot of the other mechanics for this game, I came up with, this type of saving mechanic. I mean, I guess... Oh, why is that there? Agoraphobia. Oh, I guess Newgrounds just saves all the other saves from my other games. I didn't know that. Yeah, this is Agoraphobia save for some reason. I don't know why it's saved to Newgrounds, but okay. The saving mechanic was directly inspired from Resident Evil 1. Because originally this game was going to have a more similar one. It was going to have typewriters, but I realized how, like, obvious it would be to have just, like, typewriters there. And also the fact that I just didn't want to have to make, like, a typewriter sprite, so I just picked the thing that looks like a tape recorder. This is one of the first interactables that I added. I did work on this game, like, in order, for the most part. It wasn't written as I went, but a lot of the areas were designed as I went, if that makes sense. So, this was designed pretty early on. This like, closet room. I don't know what this is supposed to be, actually. You can kind of just decide what it is. It's like a storage room that is kind of trashed. And then this is some sort of a ballroom or something. It's mostly, I did not come up with these rooms like under the, like, I did not come up with them specifically knowing exactly what they were. I kind of just wanted them to be rooms that you would expect to see in something like this, like a mansion like this, owned by very, like a very wealthy family or whatever. Let's see the map. So this is the map of the first floor. This is the only map that I designed. This is the only map that I designed of any area in the game. I specifically did it like this to add like a... I specifically did it like this so that you would assume, oh, there's more maps. But then you never find the maps, so it's like, whatever happened to those maps? You don't really know. Basically, the canon explanation is that... So Ame drew the maps, as you can see by this dialogue here. This is the only time where her last name is mentioned. It's Tsukigomi. I forget this too. I do not write the last names for any of these characters other than Reika. Yuna, Chie, and Ame, as you can see, they do not have their last names written, but Ame's last name is Tsukigomi. But yeah, the canon explanation, like I said, is Ame still has the map somewhere, like, on her. Or... yeah, Chie and Ame both have all the maps. Yuna has one map, but they were all kind of just like given to her, or given to each other. It's a little lore tidbit that you wouldn't get from this game because it's not important to the game. So I also introduced this mirror thing. I thought it would be interesting to have something that tells you, like, oh, there's a thing in the floor that is going to fuck you up. And that is basically just like, I wanted there to be other hazards other than the ghosts, and I thought something like this would be interesting because you are not going to be able to tell unless you go around and you look at the mirror, which it'll say. And after the first mirror, you'll be able to tell, like, oh, maybe those other mirrors will also say the same thing, so you should avoid stepping into the middle of the carpet. This is the first safe room. Yeah, the Newgrounds version of this game has kind of lag, a bit of lag when it comes to playing the music, but this is a song that I made for... This is a song that I made for Colorophobia, and then I was never able to finish Colorophobia. I liked this song, so I was like, I might as well just put it in this game too. Because I think it works. I think it just works as a good safe room song. Also, this thing talking about a sleek red jacket and a yellow shirt, this is an Anchorage incident reference, which is one of my older games. I thought it would be a kind of funny to just put like a reference to Todsy's clothing. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's not really supposed to. It's just an Easter egg. So it's something that if you played that game, you'll be like, oh, I recognize the description. Ouch! Yeah, this is.
You shouldn't be here.
That is not supposed to play so late. This fighting mechanic is kind of bare bones, I would say, but I thought it worked for what this is. It's easy enough to learn how to do, and you can avoid most of the enemies in the intro. This is kind of just... They are very slow in the beginning because it's supposed to teach you how to avoid them, and you can learn how to get pretty decent at doing it. And it's not supposed to be difficult because this is... I've said this before, but ONRYO no Yashiki is mostly a test to see if I can make a game like this. And I'll let you be the judge if I was able to actually make something good or not. Yeah, this is a locked door. This door is locked. I tried not to... I tried not to make the game super easy, but at the same time, I tried making it just something that's more focused on the story. All of my games have usually been mostly focused on the story rather than the gameplay, but I have been trying to get better at making actual gameplay for my games because it's kind of the selling point is that they are games with gameplay. The hexagon key is, I think that was also implemented on a whim. A lot of the stuff that I designed and a lot of stuff that I implemented was like, at first, it was like something that I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just add this in. This piano, you can play the piano. This is something that is very angering to me. This is supposed to play properly. So what you're supposed to do is you just press play, and then it's supposed to play out this song, and then it's supposed to end the song, but I missed that. And so this is like the first thing that I am going to fix. Once I update this game again, I am taking a break from working on stuff for a bit. But once I get back to it, and once I upload the bug fix for this, this will be the first thing that I work on, is finishing this piano thing. Because this is one of the first things that some people will find, and it doesn't play properly, which I think really messes up for me, and it's something that really makes me disappointed as the person who was working on this. Because this is that song's supposed to stop after this. Like, it doesn't seem like a huge thing, but like to me, as the person who put that together, I made that whole song just for that scene just for that scene particularly. I played, or I made that song for that, and I was really proud of that song. So this is the second floor. This one is supposed to play a song. It's very slow. So this is a room that I don't think... Oh, that's not supposed to happen. This is a room that is supposed to... Or this is a room that I have not changed one bit throughout the entire development of this game. Once I made floor 2, I made this room pretty quickly, and the only thing that I changed was I added this chest very, very close to when the game was released. This is basically just this just adds lore, mostly to the family, but other just like the world itself, I guess. I didn't make these interactable. These things in the background were not interactable until I want to say a month ago. But this chest, I added this like a few days before release. But this statue, you could always interact with this in like the very first versions of the game. But yeah, floor 2, I have always been like... It's always been a very forgettable floor for me. Like, even as the person who made it, it was never like a floor that was super... It's an important floor because the game progresses in it, but overall, it is not one that I just like remember. So this is the other bedroom. This was added literally like a week ago. I did not introduce that before for like most of the development time of this game, this door, it would say, oh, the door is bashed in. But I decided I might as well just add a room there. And this,
You shouldn't be here.
this is the church. Or this is the little like worship room, I guess. I was never like I never like decided on what exactly this is, but it's mostly like I said before with some of the other things. This is something that you can just inference on yourself, and you can kind of just decide what you think that that room is supposed to be or what it's used for. And this is the visual novel scene right here. I came up with this visual novel scene very, 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 very early into the game's development, because I'm pretty sure I designed. Hey Ame, where's Chie and Yuna? I designed all of these character sprites. These like visual novel character sprites in Vroid. I'm pretty sure I did it. It was one of the first things that I did. It was one of the first things that I did, and I have some of the older ones, which I will show right here. I can just show them on here. So this is Reika's. This is an unused asset. It's also not in black and white like the rest of the game. But oh, look at that, look at that. That is her visual novel sprite, which is not something that is used. As you can see, you've not seen this. And then there's Chie's right here. She is very blue. This is not the same shade of blue that her actual hair is. I don't think any of these actually are the final colors. I did these with more like brighter colors just because I wanted to make sure that it showed up well in the black and white. It's like the same thing that they did with like I forget what old like shows from like the 1950s did that, but a lot of time they would put like heavy makeup with dark colors to make sure that when it showed up in black and white, it looked a lot nicer. And I kind of tried to do something similar with that. I don't know if that turned out as well as I would have hoped, but that's basically what I was trying to do. I was basically trying to do something similar, at least.
I think they said they'd be at the clothes store.
Also, this is the first introduction of a character that is not voiced by me. This is voiced by Fen. Shoutouts Fen, also known as Blind Crow. I don't know if she wanted me to change her credit. She never told me that she wanted to. So I'll just say... So I just said that in the credits. And... yeah, shoutouts. Seriously? Again? Wish they hang out at like any other place. And this is Chie.
Hey, you didn't forget about me, did ya?
This is voiced by Jolene. Shoutouts Jolene. Chie was the very first character that I actually got all the lines for. She was the first one that I implemented any lines for because Jolene was the first person to actually like finish all the lines. So shoutouts. But yeah, she was the very first person who I had any lines introduced for and implemented for. No, I don't believe I did.
Well, good. Today we're gonna go into the middle of the forest.
I think it's kind of funny because I'm pretty sure Chie was like the last character I designed too, so it's like the last character I designed is also the first one that I implemented all lines for. I don't know, it's funny. It's funny to me. Why? I don't really want to do that. Can't we just go around town or something? The storm's on its way, so we should probably be home before that. Also, this song for this visual novel part is very based off of a song from Doki Doki Literature Club. You can kind of tell. I don't remember the name of the song because I don't remember a lot of that game's OST when it comes to names, but I vividly remember the drum loop is, I think, slightly modified, but it is basically a very similar one. It's not like the same thing, I don't think, but it's very close. And you can probably tell. It's got the same BPM and everything. But it's this scene is kind of supposed to both be like a parody and also like a what if I just changed how the game looked entirely just for one scene. And that was kind of it was a lot of things. I thought this was a cool addition just to change things up for a little bit.
Ugh, you're so boring.
See, we should do something fun instead. And out here is Yuna.
Hey guys, ready to go to the forest?
Yuna is voiced by Ashley. I think she was one of the last characters to have a voice acting added to. Reika was the very last. I literally voiced her like last week. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, Reika was the last one that I actually implemented voices for, but I think Yuna was one of the last ones too. She was one of the, I want to say the second character that I designed, and her missing an iris was something that I decided a little bit later on. I think originally she was designed, I think she was going to have her eye closed always, but I decided to make her have no iris because I have never drawn a character like that before. I have never like introduced or designed who just have an iris. Like I've designed characters with eye patches. I've designed characters who have no eye. I've designed characters who have their eye covered by their hair and all sorts of things with their eyes, but I've never designed a character without an iris. I've designed a character with fully blacked out eyes, Zero. But I've never designed a character with no iris. Her eye works. Like she can see out of that eye, she just doesn't have an iris. I don't know if that's something that actually works. But in this world it does, so. Why? What's even in that forest that you want to see so badly?
I want to see a deer.
If Yuna was furry, her persona would be a deer. That's a lore thing that you wouldn't know. But now you know that if she was a furry, she would have a deer persona. Can we not already do that though?
Come on, it'll be fun.
Sorry, Ame. Guess we have to go then. I think when I was voicing this, I had to do a lot of sighing because I would run out of breath a lot. And I do that here too. When I'm recording anything, I run out of breath a lot, and I was just like, I need to sigh for this line anyways, so I might as well just start recording anyways. That was a real, genuine sigh. Hello, waking up. Oh, was I dreaming? That was also an actual, genuine yawn. I should probably have changed this dialogue here to say like, just like add a yawn to the beginning. Oh god, no, I have the yawn. How did I get in here? Yawns are so contagious. Even an old yawn that I did last week is still making me yawn. This is the only time where Ame's like elite skills at making or at healing are mentioned, but she is very good with recording. No, fuck. I was reading the dialogue for this. She's really good at doing like first aid stuff. Also, you just really want to attack me, don't you? Oop. No. That's funny. Also, about the ghosts. The ghosts I don't talk about enough. So Seraphim voiced the father ghost, and I voiced the other two ghosts, which is the daughter ghost and the mother ghost. I don't think I wanted to initially. I didn't want to actually. I recorded the lines for those a few days ago, but nobody else I couldn't find anybody else who wanted to voice the ghosts. Seraphim wanted to voice the father ghost. So that was probably like a couple months ago when that happened. I know it was before the game was originally supposed to come out. But for the most part, or yeah. So I decided to voice the other two. It was kind of just like okay, I kind of just have to. Originally I was going to use like a text-to-speech thing for it, but I was like, I don't need to. Oh yeah, rare herb. I forget that I introduced something that increases your max health. I don't know if that's too overpowered, or if I should just like change the default health, because you can survive a decent amount. Like you could survive a couple hits with that already. And like without the increased health, but like you can increase your health anyways. I don't know if that's a good feature or not. I tried to make the game as balanced as I could, but if it isn't, then I'm sorry. There's a ladder that'll lead to the attic. So the attic was something that I just like very often would forget about. It took me until right before the game was released to actually get around to implementing it properly. It was always like finished, but it was It was this is specifically something that I knew people wouldn't find, so I always just forgot about it. But basically, this is just an ad. It has no interesting things. There's not something interesting here. There's not something interesting that adds lore. But yeah. This like photo that you see here, this is a picture of my door. I have a small drawing of the Isle of Death painting. I think that's what it's called. I redrew it, and I did that back in like 2023 or something when I was still in high school. I drew this in class, and I just like had it in my drawer or something, so I was like, I might as well just tape this to my door. If you don't know, I have a door that is just covered in a bunch of drawings, so this is one of them. And I thought it would be interesting to include it in something like this. So I won't say anything about this. You can infer what you think is happening here. You can infer if you think this is a dream or if this is real, this is a hallucination. I don't know. It's the beautiful thing about it, is that you don't know. And you won't know because I'm not telling you. Who the heck are you? What the hell happened? What the heck? What was any of that? What was that? What just happened? I don't know. Yeah, there is definitely some lag issues with the Newgrounds version. But like I said, I think this is because I'm recording it. So tasty. Yeah, a poison was an interesting thing that I introduced. I don't think I fleshed it out enough. I feel like if I made it more common or more lethal, it would actually matter. But I think you can just walk it off. I don't remember if I kept it as a feature that you can just walk it off. This is where poison is technically introduced. It's introduced in the first thing where you get knocked out by it, but yeah, if you take that wine after you've already been poisoned, then it kills you instantly. Hello? Anyone in here? Oh. Oh, oh my god. What the heck happened in here? There's another bitter herb. This scene will change slightly depending on if you have any bitter herbs on you or not. It is a very minor change, and it doesn't change the story, but I like introducing things like that where the story, not even like the story, just like dialogue interactions will change based on if you have an item or if you've done something. I really like when games do that, so that's why I introduced that in this game. And that's why I've tried to introduce it in other games that I've made too. I'm pretty sure there's some things like that in the Anchorage incident, as well as, well, Chlorophobia, if I actually wound up finishing it, would have had a lot more of those things. And I have started working on that game again, and I would like to have more interactions and more things that are like that. Whenever that game releases, which will probably be in, I give it like a year or two, probably a year and a half again. Even though a lot of that game is already finished, I've already written the story for that, so it'll be a different case than this game. Because this game, I did write the story while I was making the game. You can probably tell that some of it was written as I went on, but for the most part, I tried not to write it as it went on. Also, this is Unisprite. I basically just took over like a sprite, and I just drew white over her eye. It's kind of lazy, but I thought it was cute.
Oh god. Oh gosh, Rika, it's you.
Jesus Christ, what the hell happened in here?
One of those books. It was trapped. Some poison needles stuck right into Chie.
Here, I have some leftover herbs.
Too late, Rika. I've already puked up too much in her blood. I appreciate you trying to help her.
No, Chie, stay with me. I can help you.
Chie, please, she's gonna save you!
I've done too much to hurt you guys. It was my idea to bring you here. I'm just reaping the consequences. You guys, get the hell out of here. Let me die in peace.
Sorry, Chie. I don't think this scene was ever changed in any way. It's always been one that I like. I'm only like partially uncomfortable with replaying. All of the like death scenes, I guess, have always been kind of a subject that I'm uncomfortable playing through them. Like, I'm not like uncomfortable to the point where I'm not gonna play through them. But they've always been written, and they were made with the intention that they would be uncomfortable to play, and they would be like not like a fun, not this isn't heckin' wholesome or anything like that. They were supposed to make you like be like, damn, that's like I didn't want that.
No, no, you can't.
Yuna, you need to keep it together, okay? This is stressful for me too.
I can't deal with this right now. I'm sorry, Rika.
Damn it, Yuna.
Should probably go forward. Wait, what's this? So if you're reading the dialogue boxes while you're listening to the lines, you may notice that not a lot of, but like a decent amount of some of the lines are not the same voiced, and that is because I specifically said to the voice actresses, you are free to ad-lib or change certain bits of the dialogue, and it was never something that I really like fixed. That is also on me, but at the same time, I was never like the dialogue isn't supposed to be like the exact same. I've played some other games. I've played some other games that have a dialogue that does not match the subtitles. I think you get the gist of what is being said. I I will change that though. I've got like I've got this and like a couple other things. I do need to change a lot for the next update. But this is like it's not like a priority thing. It never really was a priority thing. As long as you could get what is being said and you could understand what is being said and it's like conveyed to you properly, I feel like that is what matters the most. But yeah, that's kind of like my idea with it. I don't know if that's a bad like philosophy to have, but that was always kind of my philosophy with it. So you can have your own views on what you think about that. But that was just kind of like I thought of it when I was doing it. I found a fusion core. I don't like these notifications that keep popping up on my computer. Oh, this will power up that elevator on the second floor. I'll make sure no one else gets hurt like this, GA. You're too young to die. I don't know if it was like... I'm still kind of mixed on how I introduced the fusion core and how I showed that she had it. I don't know if that's insensitive regarding the story to just like have that happen and then be like, oh, there's a fusion core right there. But that's kind of the point, I guess, is that, oh, it's like that happens, but you kind of have to move on in a situation like this. Like, this is, like, you can't just, like, sit down. And you do have to keep moving on. I guess that can be interpreted as a lot of different things. But that's just kind of how I see it. So now I can use the elevator here. I think, I'm not sure how... Okay. So this is the basement. This is one of my favorite areas. This was one of my favorite areas to design, one of my favorite areas to write to. I intentionally did not flesh it out a bunch. I did it enough to where you could tell what was going on in here. But I didn't want it to be like all the answers were given in this game. You'll see what later, but I've always liked the basement, and this basement from hell is the song that is about to play, and this is one of my favorite tracks in the soundtrack, and it has been ever since I like made it. Like when I finished the song, and when I was putting it up, because I wanted to release it as a single, because I was like, this song goes so fucking hard, I love it. So I posted this pretty quick, because I was like, I need people to hear this. This has always been one of my favorite tracks in the soundtrack. It's actually my favorite song in the soundtrack. By the way, if you would like to listen to the soundtrack, it is all on Spotify, and it is all on other streaming services, like it's on Instagram Music, it's on TikTok Music, I guess. Same with all my other music, but this song specifically, I've always liked it, and I will continue to probably talk about how much I liked working on the song. So here is the locker room. This one has a couple references, which are lore references, and a couple just other references that I thought would be funny. Some of them are illegible. M with no surname? What the flip? Who is that a reference to? There's some references here that you may understand. Some of them are characters who have no meaning, but some of them, like this one, is some of them are important to like the overall lore of this game, but some of them are just that's just me. Some of them are just references to things. They're references to characters in lore, or they're people who are related to other characters from other things that I've written. Or just John Smith. This wasn't a scientist. Simon Richter. This is a fucking Castlevania reference. There was a Doom reference in here too. One of the lockers was named Flynn Taggart, or it's just F Taggart. But I thought that was too obvious of a reference. So I scrapped pretty early. And before I go through that door, there's a telephone. I don't know what that means. The door isn't taking open requests right now. I don't remember why I wrote that. It was very early when I made that. When I made this door that you go to. I was like, okay, so you're not gonna be able to go back. And it's just like, some people are not going to ever notice this. Because some people aren't going to try and go and like backtrack. But like, the people who do, they're just gonna see this and they're gonna be like, what the fuck? And that was always the goal with that, and I thought it was funny. Also, I added ghosts to this area. Also very late into development. I realized that there wasn't really a whole lot to there wasn't a whole lot of hazards in the basement. So I added them very late. So yeah, it is more than implied. It is basically confirmed that in the basement that they did torture a Nazi. Now, if that's based or not is your view. But they did torture a Nazi and they experimented on him. It's implied that they did it with a couple, but specifically in the next area, you will find one of them at least. So this is the, what room is this? Completely forgot what the name of this room is, but this is like an experiment room. Ame, I found you, finally.
Oh, hey there, Eika-san. Finally.
This this picture here. I think this was one of the first things I drew. I drew this in like 5 minutes. I'm gonna be honest. This picture right here, I drew this very quickly. This was also when this interaction here is when I discovered that you could do smaller text, and I was like, this is cool. I can use this. I can use this for her character because it makes sense. What's with the formalities? You seem way too calm for our situation. I feel like I didn't use text sizes as much as I wish that I did in this game, but I can do it more in later things that I do, I guess.
I'm fine. I think I just handle stress a little differently.
Also, this is a very small thing that you can do, but you can decide to tell her what happened or just hide the truth. Doesn't really change the story either. Actually, none of the dialogue interaction things like this will change like the plot at all. And that was also kind of both a limitation and just like a thing that I decided would probably fit better. We should stick together, I think.
I'll follow you, I guess. We shouldn't stray too far in a place like this. Not at all.
Are you alright? You're acting a little odd.
It's nothing. I've just been looking at the strange serum that was used to make these ghosts real.
Serum, huh? I think I read some of the notes around that said something about some weird serum being used.
Science truly is a marvelous thing, don't you think, Raika-san?
I don't know if I wrote Ame to be too on the nose, but she was always supposed to be kind of a weirdo. I think Fen did really well voicing her and getting the point across that Ame was kind of a little strange. She was always supposed to be kind of a strange fellow. Yeah, I guess so. Well, anyways, where should we go?
I know how to bypass some locks. I'll bring it to the other area in this basement. It's the only other place in the facility I've not seen, at least.
So this is the part 2. This is a song that I wasn't actually going to include in the game originally. 'Cause I didn't even plan to make it for this. I was planning this to be just like a song that I released on its own. Not even for the game. I was like, the song is called Basement from Hell too. I might as well use it in the game for the Basement from Hell. There's also a reference here. Some kind of skeletons. Here is one of the last save frames. The game is almost finished, by the way. I think this playthrough has been a lot longer because I have been talking about development and whatnot while working on or while playing through this. Oh, that's right. We're out of those. I guess I used them all. Whoops. This is the only bed that you can use. Oh wait, no. I'm wrong. I'm wrong about that, actually. There's 2 beds. There are 2 beds in the entire game that you can use. Also, the game, so it's pretty obvious that the characters canonically are speaking in English, or not English, Japanese, but it's all in English. The game's all in English. So when it specifically says something is in English, and then you can't read what it says, that is because the game is supposed to be from the perspective of someone who can't read English, and obviously Reika cannot read English. Even though I'm pretty sure it's taught in Japanese schools how to read English, but Reika just canonically is not good with it. And that is kind of for like a thing that's specifically written to be like that. A lot of what Ame says in these scenes where she's talking about like choices not being your own or whatever, it's something that I decided I thought would fit her character, but it's not something that like I'm explicitly saying is true. Like you can decide if you think that she's insane or if she's like actually saying stuff that's kind of true. Also, this part was something. It's the only part where she says fuck one of the other parts. Oh yeah, this guy does a lot of damage to you. This is a monster. Yeah, I knew this part would be a little difficult for a lot of people, so I made sure that it was the only time this happens. And I made sure to include a save point beforehand. You can be the judge of if that was a good inclusion or not, or if that was stupid, or if that was a waste of time. But I thought it was interesting to include something like that, because it is completely unexpected. I don't think that if you played this beforehand, you probably were not expecting something like that. And that is also by design. So this part is a really ominous and on the nose part. I don't know. Ame, what the heck has gotten into you? I also don't really know how to feel about this part. I wrote this, and I know that I wrote it specifically like this, and I went through it and I read it over like at least like 20 times before I was like, yeah, this is okay. But I still am like, I don't know. I think it works for the game's plot, but I don't know.
You've been acting so weird since I found you. This isn't like you.
I'll let you be the judge if you think this scene was too much or too little. I don't know.
Raika-san, you read the notes on that serum, correct? The serum will separate my soul from my body as soon as the body becomes incapable of housing it. I took the strange serum, and I need to die now for it to work.
The hell? No, you don't.
I'll be here forever. I can stay around, and maybe even you could join me.
Ame, do you hear yourself right now? You sound delusional.
Because, Raika-san, I love you.
This part, I think it does fit with Ame's character, but maybe I didn't convey that well enough with the story. But that was always kind of like Ame has always been kind of like that. It's kind of established that Reika and Ame were always like better friends. Or Ame was always very like close with Reika, but Reika was always like the friend group of the four characters for this game. They've always been like, some are closer to each other than others. Like Yuna and Reika were very close and have always been very close, and Ame, like specifically, has always wanted to be closer with Reika. So I think that line, it may be jarring and it may be like, oh, I didn't expect that, but I think that's how I've seen it when I was writing them.
If you feel the same way, you should join me then. We'll live forever.
Ame, we can be together if you want, but we can do it together, alive.
The townspeople will shun us. They'll look at us as animals and try to arrest us.
It's better than killing ourselves to become ghosts for eternity.
Is it? You realize there's only one way to find out.
Don't you do it, Ame, I swear. How? What the hell, Ame? Please, think of your friends.
And this part, I don't know. I've always been kind of mixed on my thoughts on this. But I think it was the right choice to write this game and write this scene, I guess. Oh yeah, the chapters. Chapters were a thing that I introduced a lot later. I thought the idea of having the game split into chapters and then having them displayed like that would add on to the game, I guess. Um, this is some lore that's supposed to imply something. You can decide what it implies. One of the rats turned green and it escaped. I've never seen a green rat before. This is a scene that I introduced just because I thought it would be interesting, kind of. Specifically, I changed how the first floor was laid out. I did this because I thought it would. I did this because I thought it would be. So I changed how it was laid out because this is supposed to be like a dream sequence. So it's like Ami, or not Ami, it's Reika is dreaming and she's kind the layout of the mansion improperly, and that's kind of why it looks like that. I feel like the bed, something I kind of wish that I introduced with that, or something that I wish I included with that was, it working properly and actually healing you. I probably wouldn't have cured the poison, because I don't think it needs to be cured. You kind of... If you keep getting poisoned, it's kind of on you. I feel like you're kind of supposed to learn how to avoid getting poisoned a bunch. If you get poisoned a lot, then or if you get hit a lot, you kind of have to find out what kind of techniques you need to do to not die and to not get poisoned and things like that. But I don't know. It is in fact on you though. I made this game not to have issues. There's also more implications with things in here. Where's Chie? Where'd she go? There's a camera in the attic. This is something that I thought would be funny if you could just... You can print as many keycards as you want. I feel like some people will see this and think that it's an issue or a bug, but I kept this in. I knew that, because I know how to do it to where it'll just erase the thing after you've printed one keycard, but I just thought it would be funny if you could like print 30 keycards just for fun. This is a little cave thing. I thought this was cool.
Ray, I'm still here. I hope one day you'll understand my intentions. I feel like I've been ripped apart, put back together again, by someone who doesn't know how any of this works.
That is a reference to the King in Yellow. technically, it's a reference to Signalis, because that line is also used, but it's a reference. It's like a double-sided reference. It is also a reference to the King in Yellow. Yeah, you're able to just go back out. Originally, you were actually going to be able to go to the courtyard before, and something that would happen is that you could go back into the basement. I very quickly cut that out of the game. There was like a particular reason why I cut it out of the game. I just like, I didn't think I needed that to happen. But I've always, what was I saying? I've completely forgot what I was saying. Yeah, let's just go forward. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I probably had a good thought that I was thinking of there, but I just completely forgot what I was talking about. Whoops. I was saying something about the courtyard. The courtyard was cool. Something I was interested in fleshing out a little bit, but I don't have anything to add onto it. What's shown is like about as much as I think is important. So here's the tomb. There's more lore locations in this room specifically. Yeah, the music playing is a little delayed in this version, but it's not supposed to be. If you download the game, the music will not be. So yeah, let's get going. Oh, there's Yuna. Finally found her.
Yuna, God, I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, hey. I've been looking for you too, Rika. I've got this splitting headache, though.
What the fuck?
Can I have some ibuprofen?
You
I
too.
can't say that.
Why is this happening to me? My friends, why? I'm sorry, Yuna. I tried to save you, but here you are. I have the choice here to just leave, but I won't have the answers to any of this.
When I was recording this, I kind of had to like force myself to think about a lot of things that I didn't really want to think about when I was voicing it. So that was a pretty real like I sound like that in that those voice lines because I am actually like I was on the verge of crying there actually, which is I think that's good for getting the point across.
Nowhere to go but forward. I'll avenge all of you.
if you press the leave on that part, it would also not change anything. So I also put Bible verses in this part. It's because I think it's supposed to be like implied that the family who owned this mansion believe in multiple different religions at once. Because they were kind of a strange. They're kind of strange. They thought that they were their own gods, so they kind of just like created their own religion because a very legendary hero saved the first family member, or saved the family like 400 or no 300 years ago by this point. So they feel like they have like a divine power that was given to them. And so that's why there's this entire monument to them dedicated in like the tomb area. All of what you read here is also canon, by the way. This did actually happen in this game's lore. This game also is this game or what you are reading here is all basically a plot synopsis of a game I was never able to finish, but it went basically by this plot, and basically I thought it would have been a good game. It was so ambitious for what it was. There were gonna be like a bunch of different things that would happen. You could play like mini games and whatnot. There was gonna be like a bullet health section. There was gonna be a scene that was like Ace Attorney. It had so much to it. And I worked on this game about 4 years ago. I canned it, but basically what you are reading here is all just a kind of it's a kind of modified version of what that game's plot is. It's told from the perspective of the family who owned this mansion, so it's like they are trying to use this story to like tell themselves, I guess, that that what they're doing is right. Yeah, those texts are specifically written like that to be like to like have aged like milk. World War II was like 5 years ago by this point, by the way. That is why I wrote it like this. Cause it's like, yeah, man, I'm sure nothing horrible has happened in the past like 10 years. Cause it is always like that type of stuff. You read that in this like, I don't know. I thought I wasn't trying to be like funny with it. I was trying to be like, this is something that you would read somewhere. Someone would write something really like stupid and sensitive like that for their like religious text. And that has happened. That has happened so many times. I've seen so many things that say that. And that was kind of me trying to like satirize stuff that's written like that. Why did you do that? This is where Katla is supposed to be buried, basically. These are all of the 4 heroes of legend or whatever. They are all buried under this mansion because they basically all died kind of once they got there. So that's why they're all buried in here. You. Are you the one who put me through all this?
No.
So who did?
The only other people I've seen are my friends who are all dead now. The spirits of the manor wanted to be left alone, Reika.
They could have just said so.
They did. Have you ever even listened to them?
Let's see. Do I remember how I voiced Katla? I think Katla, I voiced her second. I think. Okay, so I voiced Katla before. I was always like, okay, I'm gonna voice this character. Like, even when I was like looking for people to voice the other characters, I was like, I am definitely going to voice Katla because I just think I should probably voice a character like her. However, I always, or no. Okay, so I'm remembering. After I got all the lines for Chie, I think a little bit after that, I voiced her. So she's like the second character to have like voice lines implemented.
Regardless, you're still an intruder in my house. The Sukekage family gave me their hospitality in my time with me as I gave the same in theirs. I won't let my previous biases deter my judgment of you, Reiko Karasutegia, just because of that, however.
Sometimes I forget that's how you're actually supposed to pronounce that. That's how you're actually supposed to pronounce her last name. Because I am too used to Calisthegia, which is what it is supposed to be translated.
Can I please just leave? You've been able to leave since before you got here. You could have just walked back to your house, and your friends would have just gone missing. I know that sounds...
I wanted them to live.
See where that got you?
I just want to go home.
Of course you do. I would as well in your situation.
What do I have to do to get out of this place? Please, I'll never return. Just let me go.
Do you know what your friend did? Now that her soul is away from her body, it'll forever linger around. You heard how she acted before she died. You're gonna have to deal with this for the rest of your life. Rika, before I let you leave, are you ready to deal with her vengeful spirit trying to kill you for the entirety of your life? I don't care what your response is. Go back upstairs. Tools are up there that can help aid you with whatever you choose.
This is where the game basically ends. There's some things that I will show at the beginning, or at the end. It is implied that this is not something that is real, but it could be real if you want it to be. It's kind of just I can't. This is also, these years are very specific for a reason, but I can't tell you what that reason is yet. Oh yeah, there's also this thing. I don't know why I put a mouse here. Oh, there's a mouse in there. Now we have returned to the outside. Who are you? This takes place on my birthday. I wrote that like that. That was intentional. Getting the items from these two chests doesn't actually matter, and it doesn't actually affect the story, or it doesn't affect how you obtain the ending. But oh, I'm out of empty tapes, so I can't do both endings. Whoops. That's okay.
Have you made a decision? You still never told me who you are. You know already. Have you made a decision? Alright, so what's your choice then? This place is burning to the ground.
I am doing this ending because this one has more to it. The other one, you can just find that one on your own.
Go ahead and do it then. You've got enough of this kerosene to engulf this place at least 2 times over.
I'm done with this little hole. Go around here. Only a little more to go. An interesting thing about the end was that there's actually supposed to be 3 different endings. There was supposed to be this ending, and then the other ending. It is the 2 endings that you can actually get, and there was supposed to be a third where Reika gets arrested and blamed for the death of everyone, but I always thought that ending was very unsatisfying. To be fair, the other ending I've always thought was also a little unsatisfying too, but I always felt like an ending where the main character gets blamed and like arrested always, I don't know, it always, like, when I was writing it and when I was first implementing it, I was like, I really don't like this ending. I don't want this in the game. I don't want people to have to do this. And you're like, God damn, that ending sucked. So I scrapped it from the game pretty close, or pretty early. Alright, there we go. I want to say it's done. I want to say that ending was scrapped, like, in the first few months of me doing it. Because I finished the game's plot pretty quickly. Most of the development time for this game was polishing and adding all sorts of stuff to it. But, like, the plot itself was mostly done for a long time. But the ending, that ending was scrapped, like, as I was working on what endings I wanted. And I was like, so I got this one, I got this one, I also got this one, but I don't fuck with this one, so I'm gonna take it out. And in the files, you can still find an alibi. There's like a paper that shows her alibi. I think there's actually gonna be a 4th ending too. Like, I considered that for about 5 minutes. And it had one where she actually, like, where she goes to trial and doesn't get arrested, and that was basically the difference, and that was going to be the canon ending for a while. If there's a canon ending to this game, you could probably assume which one it is.
My friends, they're all gone now. I can't help but blame myself for this. I know it wasn't my fault, but that doesn't change a thing. The crackling of the flames still echoes through my mind with their voices. I keep thinking about what I should have done differently, what I could have even done. I know I can't change anything anyways, but I still spend a lot of time pondering it. Years later, I decided to become a shrine maiden. Thought it'd get my mind off everything, or hell, maybe even get me closer to my friends who passed in the mansion. It hasn't done too much to alleviate the stress, because despite it all, the weight of my sins falls like an anvil on my shoulders.
And that is the end of the game. If you played the game, then please let me know what you thought about the game itself, and what you thought of everything, I guess. Please let me know what you thought about the game in the comments, because I feel like I'm proud of what I made, but I know there's a lot of flaws. I know it's got its issues, but hey, what doesn't, right?
You know, I wonder where those girls from school went. After that whole debacle in the mansion, I've been stumped. They probably think I'm dead, huh? Those shrine maidens are a whole lot smarter than me with these things. Maybe I'll ask that one.
Oh, what the implications? I'm gonna just read the ones that... Yeah, there's graveyards, there's gravestones here. There's also something over here. You can make a wish. You can wish for war. Well, that was funny.
That was all I had, Ray-chan. I'll stay in contact with you.
And this is the detective. This was voiced by... This was voiced... Where's her name? Chai. She was going to voice Reika originally. But she did voice the detective. Maybe if I ever finish a sequel, maybe you'll see her return, but who knows. Alright, again, thank you for everything. I've just been... Oh, hello there. Welcome to the shrine.
You're looking at me like you've seen a ghost. Or two.
And that is the end of the game. Or is it? Yeah, it is. So that was my game. And that was basically all of what I have to say. I tried to give as much commentary on everything that I felt needed to be commentaried on. Sorry if this video was super long. Oh, it's 2 hours long. 2 hours for a game that's supposed to take about 1 hour. That was my game. I just released it, obviously, like I said. And I hope if you played it, you enjoyed it. This game took me about 1.5 years to make, and I'm proud of what I managed to release. And I'm glad that I actually managed to finish this game. This was supposed to release in Halloween of 2025. So it coming out in January is something that makes me mad. Especially considering how many fucking games are now coming out. I didn't want to release this after Hytale came out because I knew people would be really into that game, and it's kind of a bad idea to release a game while other games are much more popular. But I was like, I can't delete this. I don't care. I delayed the game too many times. it was supposed to come out like a quarter of a year ago, I think. How many months ago was October? Like 1, 2, 3, 3 months. Wait, okay, so that's not a quarter. That's like it's not a third. Right? It is a quarter of a year. I don't know. Regardless, it took way too long to release this game, and I am mad at myself mostly for not managing to get this out in time. But I realize it's kind of redundant to just get mad that I couldn't release the game on time. But the good thing is that I managed to release it at all, and I think that's worth for whatever it's worth, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot else to say. But I hope you continue to support the projects and things like that. I have more stuff I'm working on. I need a break though. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. If you found any bugs, let me know in the comments. I will fix them. I need to like write everything down that is currently broken or currently has issues. I just, like I said, I need a break. I'll work on that type of stuff later. But yeah, sorry for not posting. Also, like I said, I've been so busy with the game, and I've been busy with other stuff too. It's like I have like a weight off my chest now, releasing the game finally. So it's good. It's good. Glad it's out, and I'm glad that people, from what I've heard, have enjoyed it. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So thank you.